The popularity of GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Manjaro to help people lose weight has really exploded over the past couple of years. Beyond that, interest in something called GLP-3 has really increased in the past year. Here's a graph of searches just on Google for this topic GLP-3 and how it's increased over the past year alone. We hear about GLP-1 medications all the time, but what is GLP-3 and why are people talking about it? What does that actually mean? But don't worry, in this video, I'm going to break down what GLP-3 means, what it is, and everything that you need to know in order to keep yourself and your family safe from companies that might be trying to take advantage of the hype and sell you something that's not really safe or effective. If you're new here, my name's Mark. I'm a scientist, and every week I make videos on this channel talking about topics in science, technology, and medicine to help break down these complex topics into plain language that people can understand to help them engage with the information and make decisions for their own lives. So let's start with the basics. What is GLP-1 in the first place? Well, GLP stands for glucagon like peptide. GLP-1 is a hormone that your body makes naturally, made predominantly in your gut, and it's part of your metabolic signaling system. You can think about it that way. And what it does is it helps to regulate your blood sugar and it contributes to your controlling your appetite as well as the feeling of being full after you eat. Now, natural GLP-1 only survives in your body for a few minutes before it gets broken down. And these new drugs that have come out, they are modified chemical variants that do not break down that quickly. They last in your body more like 7 to 10 days. And so, if you inject those, you get this longer sustained appetite control and feeling of fullness than you get with just your natural GLP-1. Now, where it gets a little bit complicated is that when your body produces this hormone, GLP-1, it's made as part of a blueprint called a transcript that really serves as the blueprint for a number of different hormones, and your body can make them all. GLP-1 is one of those hormones, and another one is called GLP-2. You might not have heard of GLP-2, and the reason for that is because its functions are completely different. It's mostly related to intestinal cell growth and to repair in your gut. So it's not really going to have the same sort of weight loss and appetite effects as GLP-1, and that's why it's not one of the medications for weight loss. But it does have a similar structure, and that's why it has that name, 1 and 2. So the take home is when your body makes this blueprint, it can make a lot of different compounds out of it, including glucagon, GLP-1, GLP-2, as well as a variety of other hormones. So it's quite a complicated system overall. Quick break here. If you like this kind of content, it would really mean the world to me if you could leave a like, subscribe, or leave a comment. That really helps me not only to grow the channel, but also to figure out what kind of information is most useful or most informative to the people who watch these videos. Because I want to find those things that are most interesting to you so I can make more videos about them and make this as helpful as possible. So thank you for your time and your support. It really means the world to me. And let's get back to the science. So with all that background about GLP-1, GLP-2, the blueprint that they're made out of, maybe you've heard about this new thing that people are calling GLP-3. And it would be reasonable to assume, based on what I said before about 1 and 2, that maybe GLP-3 is another hormone that this blueprint makes as well. And some articles that have come out on this topic would lead you to believe that. However, I'm here to tell you today that that is a myth. GLP-3 is not a hormone that is made by the blueprint that makes GLP-1 and GLP-2. So what is it? Here's an example of a graphic I found online trying to explain the difference between GLP-1, 2, and 3. And the information that it has about GLP-1 and GLP-2 are actually pretty accurate and correct. But this third box, unfortunately, that's talking about GLP-3 is just not accurate. So I think it's really important to be skeptical when you see things like this online and to always be thinking critically about this kind of information. So, in reality, the blueprint that codes for GLP-1 and GLP-2 does make other hormones, but none of them have been named by scientists as GLP-3. And when people are talking about GLP-3 in these articles or in, internet discussion, what really it is, it's an expression that refers to a new medication in development that's called retatrutide. Now, I've talked about this before in other videos, but what retatrutide is, it's a new class or a new type of GLP-1 medication that is currently under research. It's in clinical trials. And what's really interesting about this new compound is that it actually targets three different hormone pathways unlike Ozempic, for example, which just signals GLP-1. And it's this triple action mechanism, these three pathways that it works through, that have led people to start calling it, just in common discussion, GLP-3. So, just to say that again more clearly, GLP-3 is not a real hormone. It's not a real thing. It's just a name that people have given to a new drug called retatrutide that signals through three different pathways. That's why people are calling it GLP-3. If this logic really held, then something like Zepbound, which targets two pathways, might be called GLP-2, but GLP-2 is a totally different hormone. So the naming can be quite confusing. So on the surface, this is not inherently a harmful thing. Maybe it's just sort of a nickname that is given to a drug before it gets released in as a commercial product and gets its own name. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Maybe it's a little bit misleading, but that's not inherently problematic. Where it starts to concern me is that there are websites out there online that are actually selling something to consumers that is called GLP-3. I'll show you an example here. So, what you can see is that websites like this are selling at pretty affordable prices something that they are calling GLP-3 and then describing it as like the drug that's under development right now. And that I think is really problematic. These websites are claiming that these products, these peptide products like this so-called GLP-3 are for research use only, and that is really to keep them up from getting in trouble with FDA. But that I think is something they're really just doing to protect themselves legally, while in reality actually marketing these peptides to consumers, because although they're saying this is for research use only, and although they're saying it is not reviewed by FDA, this is something that anybody could go buy and potentially inject in their body. And if someone was going to this website believing that this was a really affordable, really effective weight loss drug, that is potentially very harmful to them. So I would strongly recommend that you do not buy these kinds of products, and always, always talk to your doctor before starting on any new medication or supplement, especially if it is something that you are planning to inject into your body. Anything that's going to go into your body, especially as an injectable, should be studied for its safety. And these peptide products, they are not. I believe these companies are taking advantage of people, and this should be completely avoided. So, just to bring it back, even though GLP-3, as people are calling it, isn't real, the new investigational medication, retatrutide, very much is. And there's a lot of reason to be excited about it. A phase 3 study that really completed in December of 2025 reported that people taking this new compound, this triple mechanism, GLP-1, GIP, glucagon medication, those people lost a staggering amount of weight. On average, they lost almost 30% of their starting body weight. That amount of weight loss is starting to approach what we would expect from something like a bariatric surgery. So that is really incredible. Just to wrap this up, the field of weight loss medications is evolving very, very quickly. And it's hard to keep up with all of the new information that is coming at us left, right, and center, and being able to stay on top of these things. But I would encourage that everyone remain skeptical when you hear about new developments, when you hear about something that's new and exciting, especially if it sounds too good to be true, like a new miracle drug that is only $64 that you can buy online and have it shipped directly to your house. Be skeptical about these things. Be thoughtful before you buy something, and certainly before you put something into your body. Make sure you talk to your doctor before you start any new medication or any new supplement. I will plan to continue creating updates about new developments in the GLP-1 and the weight loss space. It's something I'm very interested in, and I want to help try to keep you all informed as well. If you like this, I do have another video called GLP 101, where I go over some of the basics of the science, the biology underneath these GLP medications, how they work, and what the different compounds that exist are, to try to help you understand the overall landscape of this. So, with all that said, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. And please do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps me grow the channel and figure out what kind of content I should be focusing on, information I should be bringing to this channel to help you all out. So, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.